What's up everyone, John from ARTV, fresh off of a clean shave, further ensuring that no one will ever believe that I am not a 16-year-old boy. I'm in fact 23 years old. It's been in question in the comments as of recent, so that answers that for you. It's time for a review of the new Atlas Genius record. It's their second full-length album following up that album that dropped in 2013, When It Was Now. Really enjoyed that one. If you're curious to see my thoughts on it, it's linked down below. Still play the hell out of songs like Trojans and Electric and even Backseat to this day. Atlas Genius were one of my favorite things in the alternative music scene in 2013. Their album nearly ended up on my year-end list. I think I actually gave it an honorable mention, but it just had a nice fusion of rock and electronics. There's a balance there that I think a lot of bands struggle to find, and they hit the nail on the head. It wasn't perfect, but they found success by playing this intellectual but somehow tortured soul in many of their songs, a character if you will, channeling this emotion without getting too bogged down in it. Well, at least on that debut record. They dropped the lead single Molecules off of Inanimate Objects, the name of this second studio album, which does have an interesting concept behind it, earlier this summer, and it's exactly what I was hoping that they would do. They had this nice 80s sensibility lingering in the background, I think, of that debut album, but they didn't go full-fledged for that sound until now. The running synths and spirited instrumental on this track, paired together with this extremely catchy progression from verse to chorus, really just helped this song to soar. Plus, the lyrics on this track are just great. If you sit down and study them, there's actually a lot there to think about. Singles aren't always a great representation of what's ahead on the album now, are they? Not to say that I didn't have some fun throughout this record, it's just that Molecules is probably, sadly, the best and most enjoyable song on here for me. So what went wrong here? What made these songs feel middle of the road? I blame a lot of that on the lack of creativity, the lack of fresh ideas, and the choice to just kind of stay in this safe, already charted territory. Hey, don't throw your stones yet, because there's still some moments on this LP that I think are pretty great. I'm loving the brash synth line and the well-penned lyrics on Refugees. 80s ecstasy right here, drum parts and all. The fervent guitar line on Stockholm is another one of the moments on this LP that just really made my ears perk up, but the album really starts to drag around the track Friendly Apes. That and Friends with Enemies. Just two tracks right there that just felt a bit forced. It's not just the slower tracks that I'm disliking here. I don't want you to think that that's what I'm driving at here, because at the very least they're well written. It's just moments like Where I Belong and another one that's over the top, kind of Balladino, I hope I'm saying that, like, just feel a tad borrowed, like somebody crumpled up an idea, tossed it in the trash, flattened it out, and then turned it back in. There were good intentions behind this record, but it's just a matter of how often this album actually pays off. I don't really feel any real feelings when listening to a good majority of these songs. But then of course we have other moments like the excellent pair of tracks that close out this record that have me both tapping my foot and honing in on the lyrics. Seriously, if you want to see these guys in a totally new light, definitely check out the closing song Levitate. It's something that's not totally 100% fresh or unique, but the airy vocals from Keith Jeffrey over this acoustic guitar and light bass groove just sound really nice. I don't necessarily think emotions were so high at stake here on this record that it just got the best of them, but at the same time, I just don't see many of these tracks having that much going on in terms of their instrumentals or even some of the mundane lyrical content. There's not enough going on for me to call this a wonderful follow-up to the album that I enjoyed so much in 2013. It's a bit of a sophomore slump. I see a lot of alternative bands that sort of kind of break through to the mainstream, have a few moderate hits on the alternative songs chart. They have a solid debut album, and then they kind of drop off after that, and people tend to forget about them. I don't want that to happen at Atlas Genius, but I am not that much on board with this new album. For me personally, I think that Inanimate Objects, it's got a nice idea behind it. There's some thought-provoking lyrics here and there, but you might find yourself lost at sea before too long. It's a 3 for me. Thanks for watching my review of Inanimate Objects by Atlas Genius. If you've heard the latest from the Australian duo, let me know your thoughts on it down below. Maybe smash that like button while you're down there. Subscribe to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribe. If you're curious, I do have a second channel where I do track reviews, movie reviews occasionally. A couple of different series are going on over there on Beyond ARTV. You can click right here in the description to go straight to that. You can click right here to see the last review that I did. Other than that, I'll plan on seeing you very soon right here on ARTV.